When I was a young member of Parliament, Mr. Speaker, which is many years ago, there was a committee in the House of Assembly that I was on. I wasn't sure, I'm not sure I was the head of it, I was on it, and we considered the Road Traffic Act and made a number of recommendations as to what should happen. But for the last 40 years in the Bahamas, there's been talk about getting rid of the Road Act, because many people have had their vehicles damaged, their properties damaged, and could not claim anything because the people who did the accident, who caused the accident, had this thing that's called Road Act. We've finally arrived at the point now where Road Act is being abolished, and we're going to have full third party, which means damage for personal liability, personal injury, and for property, but not for your own. Well, there's always a limit. There's no question about it. There's not unlimited. There's nothing that's unlimited. There's nothing that's unlimited. You are now going to be able to claim for property damage, so that when BEC electrical pole is knocked down by a car, BEC can claim from the insurance company to pay them for the pole. When your wall is knocked down by these cars, you can get your wall fixed back by the insurance company. When your car is damaged by another car that is in third party, you can get it fixed now by the insurance company.
Let me come back.
Yes.
We agree with you.
There's no question, Mr. Speaker. I'm going to take a diversion for a moment to respond to a point made by the member for Bain and Grantstown about this policy of BEC requiring people who are a certain distance away from an existing service to be able to buy a transformer and to pay huge sums of money. You know, there has not been sufficient attention paid by governments of the Bahamas to reforming the Bahamas. Governments of the Bahamas have, generally speaking, been quite happy with the status quo. In fact, every time we try to change things, we get all sorts of opposition from very intelligent people. Like now, whatever I try to change, there's lots of opposition too. Even if they vote for it, they will criticize it. That's the way no, call it what you like. I'm only making the point that any change in a society is a change that some people will find unacceptable. In fact, when I use the term, I want to be fair to you. In order to be fair to you, I've got to tilt that balance because somebody else will get in the other part of it. And so when I even out, somebody is going to be left out. BEC was started 60-odd years ago in the 50s. And at that time, Nassau was a small place, of course. And it produced rules and regulations for the supply of electricity that were consistent with the reality of the time. That has not changed. In all these years, those same regulations still remain in effect. Secondly, BEC is still the regulator when they have a surge and burn up your equipment. It is them you appeal to. They then review it and decide, oh yes, I think we're wrong, and we'll pay you $100. In other words, the perpetrator becomes the arbitrator. We intend to change that. That needs to change. The whole question of what the whole monopolistic arrangements with BEC, Water and Sewage Corporation have got, has begun to change on our watch. It may not have changed fast enough, but you know, there was a time, ask the member for Farm Road in Centerville. When he was Minister of Housing, He couldn't move because he needed the sewage work done, and only water and sewage could do the sewage work. Nobody else was allowed. They had the exclusive.
No house to pop out the ground.
And so his house did not pop. Oh, we changed that too, please. No, when I became minister in the same government, I came from a different cloth. I was happy to stay on that back bench, but I was going to the front bench. Different story. Her father could tell you that, and others too. So, today, we are seeking to make this Road Act change to full third party. And in doing so, we are also recognizing that there are still some people in the Bahamas who have an act insurance now for their vehicle. And we are saying that those insurance policies can continue to be in effect until they expire. And when they expire, they'll be subject to this law. But we are not seeking to take away from them rights which they have today. The second issue, Mr. Speaker, this bill seeks to do relates to the question of making it an offense for you to leave the scene of an accident until the police come and investigate the accident. At a time of high criminal activity in the Bahamas, we believe that we ought to have policemen whose duty it is to go to investigate every fender bend that takes place. No, I understand that. We believe that, you know, the 6,000 accidents in Nassau a year, the police ought to have a vehicle and 2 policemen to go. That you ought to be blocking up the road, because you're not supposed to move your car. Keep it right there until the policemen come. All the people who are supposed to go to work are inconvenienced. That's right. School. And when the police come, then we could decide to move. And it's only a fender. And we're not talking about where somebody has been killed or seriously injured in an accident. We're not talking about serious damage being done. We're talking about an accident where there's a fender bend, a door has been mashed, a hood has been mashed, a back light has been broken. We are able to see the car number. Car numbers in the system. If the driver wants to cooperate, fine. If he doesn't want to cooperate, at least we can see the number. We can report the number. But what we are doing is something that's going to benefit thousands of policyholders. And let me say it clearly. Insurance companies in the Bahamas, or those who sell motor vehicle insurance, have had an easy ride for 60+ years. They've had the government, police department, to act as their insurance adjusters. You are insured, and they would not pay your claim until they get a report from the police. Well, that's not my business. Do your own work. Get your own adjuster, if you need an adjuster.
Like when the hurricane comes.
Just like when the hurricane comes and somebody's house gets blown down, the adjuster comes and he makes a report to the insurance company and they pay. Why should I treat him differently for a car than I treat him for a house or a business? Why should I do that? You know, and those of us who have an interest in insurance should only declare it, but should not be interfering when others are speaking who have no interest in the matter. Well, he may declare his interest, but at least he should let me speak. And he has spoken, St. Thomas More.
You're in investigation.
So, Mr. Speaker, thousands of car owners will benefit from this change in the law. They would have their claims processed. I've got comprehensive insurance. I've been in an accident. I don't have another car. You need to rent a car for me or give me the money to buy it to rent a car. Don't tell me you're waiting for the police to give you a report about the accident.
You might have been in an accident.
I've got third-party insurance. Your car, the insurance company over here, your car mashed up my car. Knocked down my wall. It's not my business when the police can get a report. That's your problem. And some insurance companies would not like that, because they've had this ride for 60-odd years. What modern society has such an archaic system that says the police must go to investigate every accident? That is an offense, a criminal offense, an offense under the Road Traffic Act, to leave the scene of an accident so you get charged for that too. Oh yeah, absolutely, no problem.
Honourable Member for Maine and Grandstown.
I'm the one that did third-party insurance. You're the one who's car enough. However, I say you're in the wrong.
The insurance figure that out.
Yeah, but so in the meantime, if you are, let's say you are in the wrong. In the meantime, they have to provide you with the car. My insurance got to provide you with the car and all these things. No, but you understand what
It depends on the nature.
I understand that, but if they're going to pay out money now, they want to know the situation now, presumably.
Yeah, but some accidents, it is so clear as to who is in the wrong that you don't need to go to court to determine I got hit from the back. Yeah. I'm on a main road, the fellow ran out of a side road into me. Right. I don't need to be a lawyer or a magistrate to figure out who is most likely to be in the wrong in that case. No, there's no law that could deal with a crook. Yeah. We got a law against murders, there are two of them today. Right. 2 people got killed today, and there's a law in the book that says you could be hung for killing. But that law don't stop it. Right? So let's be realistic. There's no law whatsoever that can stop people who want to be dishonest from being dishonest. I'm not seeking to do that. But what I do wish for members opposite to do is that I do wish for members opposite, and this is my opinion, that they should, in my view, they should vote their conviction, their conscience. The public of the Bahamas, I think, ought to know that it isn't good enough for members of the opposition to criticize bills we bring to the House day after day, hour after hour, and when it's time to vote, they vote yes. If you believe what you say, vote no.
If you don't know,
if you believe what you say, vote no. Don't vote yes. I yes.
Honourable Member for Maine and Grandstown.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister is being unnecessarily adversely affected by this. We are seeking to assist. We are seeking to assist the government. Otherwise, we wouldn't have to debate it. I mean, you brought the matters here to be debated. We are not against. We are not against abolishing Road Act. Neither are we against having mandatory third-party insurance. However, we are looking at what we want a fair adjudicator, police. We're just saying that we see that there are circumstances where there may be difficulties. Okay, so we said this. If you say you don't think it's necessary, fine. We'll wait and see what the law does, and it may need to be adjusted later on. But don't be offended, and don't. I don't want you to tell the public out there what you are telling the public out there, because it's unfair to us.
Speaker,
You know, the campaign shouldn't, you said the campaign is January.
Speaker,
This is only October.
Speaker, members opposite can say whatever they wish about me and decide, and that's okay. Unfortunately, when I say something, they are very thin-skinned. Very thin-skinned about it.
That's true. That's true.
Mr. Speaker, the reality is the Bahamas can no longer afford to be anchored in the ancient past as to how the UBP constructed our road traffic laws in 1958, when they said it is an offense to remove. That's what it is. The UBP. The United Union Party crafted this law that says a policeman must come and you cannot move from the accident. We are now 60-odd years later. No! Okay, fine. Yes. 50-odd years later. 50-odd years later, saying, listen, the world has moved. I have no doubt. At the time the 58 Act was passed, that was a norm that existed in many, many places. Many other people have moved away from that now, and we are now seeking to move away from it also. Are we going to have some teething pains? Yes, that's possible. But the reality is, there'll be more policemen available to fight serious crime, investigate serious accidents than there are today. You know, we have what we call road traffic inspectors and police. What does a road traffic inspector do? What does he do?
Watch taxi drivers.
We got the policeman and the road traffic inspector. What do? One time we bought some scooters for them. They were riding up and down here, new scooters and whatnot, etc. Motorbikes. We have to reform this society. And it would be wonderful if those of us who are in Parliament help to educate the population about where it is that we are seeking to take this country. That's what we are seeking to do, to take this country forward. We are seeking to transform the way we do business, transform and change how public services are accessed by people. Members of the House have no idea how much money it costs the government of the Bahamas to operate so-called traffic night courts. Go down Nassau Street. See how many people are there every night. How many magistrates we got hired, and lawyers, etc., for relatively simple traffic matters. In other parts of the world, they give a ticket. If you really think you're not guilty, then you'll go through that exercise. If you think you are guilty, if you know you are guilty, you'll pay. We are now making it, we are reducing the penalties, making them quite reasonable. And we are going to be allowing people to pay it online from their houses, their credit card. Tell them to go down and spend hours in the night, plead not guilty today, come back 2 weeks later, the case still ain't come up. In the meantime, the government paying overtime, you got a lawyer, etc. We are seeking to advance this society. Now, you know, one of the things I learned in this job is to seek, as best as I can, to effect change in what I consider to be digestible proportions. I've not always been of this view, but I am older now and wiser now and more experienced, and I now understand that all the things I think that can and should be done can't be done right away. But this here is a part of the exercise which I want to engage in, which we began the other day when we brought the criminal bills. We want to make sure that criminals in the Bahamas are denied the use of the roads. We want a criminal to know the last place I want to be found is on a street. And so the next phase of this exercise will be that we will put in place a mechanism by which the police can, with that license, that number on that car, determine whose car it is right away, where the car is wanted for anything, etc. And you'll hear more about that very soon. Very soon. It's a very simple exercise to determine that. Oh no, this is not the end. This is not the end. I don't want you to think it's the end. And so, Mr. Speaker, many more of these things will be put forward in the F&M's 2012 manifesto. But we are completing the agenda on which we were elected in 2007. We have been promised and we are delivering. And I invite the House to support us.
Yes.
I invite members opposite not to divide on the issue.
Yes.
Vote yes. Vote and say yes. Speak and vote the same way. Don't speak one way and vote another way. I so move, Mr. Speaker.